Hello and welcome to another update video about WTI. So crude oil futures. Looking at the latest developments on the charts, it seems like the wave count itself is unchanged. It made another low, however, even though it looked already here as if the low could have been in, especially with the touch of the trend line. But at the same time, the break of the trend line was a potential signal that we would go lower, but the support area that we talked about before isn't broken. So the thesis that this here could be a wave 2 to the downside is still technically valid. It doesn't make sense, however, to leave that trend line on the chart. So we take that out because that did get broken. But my view is still that we are probably moving here in this kind of ending diagonal pattern of a C wave within a larger B wave in this local uptrend. So few things I think here to talk about. So it's quite a deep pullback, but that's okay in a wave 2, but really the low should now be in if this is the correct wave count. It is quite a difficult structure that we're dealing with because we don't really have any clear 5-wave move to the upside. I also have to say, from an Elliott wave point of view, there are many ways to count this. So take the patterns with a pinch of salt, be ready for adjustments, and maybe use a different edge as well, because we don't have, with Elliott wave you have a really good edge if, for example, the price is moving into really extremes of support areas, and the price did that and already bounced. So it gives you, when we are getting deep into these support areas close to invalidation points, quick reminder, the red line is the invalidation point. The fib support area is basically where probabilities start to shift if we break it. But yeah, then you get decent edge. But if you want to have probabilities on your side, you need to have a 5-wave move into a certain direction first. Now we don't have that. Still though, looking at the context, we can say, okay, probably A wave up into the September highs 2023, B wave down, and now we could be working on that C wave. Problem is that this C wave, it would be a 5-wave move, but then the third wave would also be an ABC structure and so on. So it's quite choppy. This here could be a potential initial 5-wave move up. Important is now obviously that the last swing low is holding. Essentially, if the low is in this wave 2, where should the third wave take us? I think it's time to recalculate possible targets based on the latest low. It doesn't change a lot, but it would mean that this third wave, or wave C of 3, should then ABC in wave 3, but this third wave might have started. The micro count is difficult. I'm not going to put any micro count on this chart because it's kind of useless, because the A wave, for example, can be a 5-wave move. It can also be a 3-wave move. So you don't really get that clear. We don't need a 5-wave move up to confirm a low is in place. We might only get a 3-wave move. So again, best is to use the low as key invalidation point. That's at $72.50. And the upside target minimum for a third wave, I'd like to get it to $100. It's the 1.236 extension. We know that a third wave in a diagonal often gets there. So how can we say then that we're really moving up or breaking out? So first of all, I think it's important to recognize there is a resistance area, more or less. Here we have a few spikes. A bit difficult to say which one is really relevant, but I'd say they are all. So it's more a bit of a range that we now need to break above structurally, which is here. So it could be a third wave, but I need further confirmation with a break above those highs. So especially the $80.70 level needs to be broken. It looks a bit like a 5-wave move. So yeah, again, the A wave can be 5 waves or 3 waves. Could easily be that this A wave becomes a 3-wave move, A, B, C, and this A wave is 5 waves. So small A wave, In any pullback, it needs to hold the June low, however, to keep this assumption alive. Anything else we can do here with maybe other technical analysis methods? Well, I would say what we could do in terms of drawing trend lines, if we Yeah, I mean, the June low is relevant, but if we break below this trend line, which to be honest isn't going to be much higher, but take a look at this trend line. When that breaks, it might actually be a signal that we are testing the invalidation point. So that might be a bit of a signal that you could use. Just wondering if we have any breakout signals up here other than, well, we have the resistance area. That'd be helpful. In terms of trend lines to the upside, that might be relevant. This one possibly. I think anything else is too steep. Yeah, okay, so I mean, again, we only have 2 touch points here, but it's no 3 actually. So it's struggling to get above this trend line. So it could be an additional signal breaking up above this trend line. So it just needs to maintain a little bit of upside pressure here. Just get above it, get to the resistance area, and then taking us to the next one. This is not so much related to Elliott wave, but just sort of traditional classical technical analysis, and those could be breakout signals. Yeah. So there isn't much more we can say about WTI. So as long as the June low is holding, focus can be on higher. Shown you some breakout signals there, and the C wave should take us to $100, but the condition is that this June low is holding. That's the update about WTI. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you're interested in daily updates about the S&P 500, as well as regular updates about stocks, feel free to check out our stocks and S&P 500 service. You'll find the link in the description. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.